Hey, it's me, Vicki Marie. And look what we're starting off with tonight. Thank you so much, Robin. Robin, it was my first ever member many moons ago now, because it was last year when I started with memberships. And Robin was my first ever member. And Robin has been on here today before we've started and gifted 5 memberships. So I don't know who's got them. I'm sure people will let me know as we carry on who's got the memberships. Thank you, Robin. That's so very kind of you. Thank you so much. You've been very supportive of my channel. Thank you. Thank you. So there you go. 5 lucky people have got a membership to Vicki Marie Chats, whether you want it or not. Anyway, as I say, I'm not sure, who's won it, but we'll find out as the time goes on, as the chat goes on. So, what I'm going to do, first of all, I'll just take that away. Thank you again. I can't thank you enough. It's so kind, Robin, really, for anyone to do anything like that. Not only supports my channels, but then people like to join in the members' lives on a Thursday. Gives people, a chance to join in our members' live. Have a look at the members' videos that they've maybe not been able to see so far. It's just lovely to do that. It's very kind. Now, which reminds me, I want to thank you all for liking, subscribing. The most important way you can support my channel is please think about subscribing. If you like my videos, if you're interested in my content, liking the videos, subscribing and liking the videos are free ways you can help my channel. And then some of you go that little bit further and you become members, and some of you have been members for quite a long time. Thank you so much. Also, some of you have bought me a Ko-fi or sent me super chats, etc. Anything, or sent me an email, suggested a case, made nice comments. There's so many ways you can support my channel. Many of them are free, and thank you. Some of you do it, anyway, without me reminding you. So thank you for that. Okay, let me get rid of that now. Now I'm going to say hello to everybody before I start. I never know what to do first. I can see there's quite a lot. So we're getting back to normal now. I say getting back to normal. I was only away for 3 days. Honestly, God, it feels like I went away for months. I was so out of the routine and out of sort of making the videos, and people were worrying about me and was it all right? And I literally was away for 3 days, I think. But of course, it interrupted the normal flow of my videos. I like to do 2 videos a day at least, or live streams or videos, whichever, because there's so much going on to talk about. Oh my God, I could just literally be on a permanent live stream, really. If only I didn't have to work, to actually support myself. But, work gets in the way. But as you know, I should be telling you about that as well. Of course, I teach Spanish. I'm getting new subscribers all the time. There'll be many of you out there maybe watching this for whatever reason, don't know that I teach Spanish, but that's what I do as well. That's like my day job, as I call it. So yeah, busy. It's busy with class. Like tonight, I finished at 7 o'clock. A couple of hours to get my tea, get ready, get a glass of wine, light the candle, and for all the cases that we're following. And then here I am. But this is not like work. This is more sort of, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy bringing cases to light. I enjoy watching you all chat. And I enjoy the comments that I get. Well, not all of them. I get the odd sort of strange comment, but not very many, to be fair, not very many. As long as I'm not doing videos about Nicola Bully, I don't really get that much sort of hate. So I just want to say thank you to all of you. Anyway, let's say hello. So Kelly was first tonight. Hi, Kelly. Hi, David. Hi, Chumba. Oh, David, Mrs. David's home now. Oh, bless. Is she only getting princess treatment for a fortnight? What happens after that? Hi, Nanielle. Hi, Robin. And Robin, who's gifted the membership. Could you mention Annie Dryden when you light your cat? Oh, so this is yet another lady. Let's just have a look at Annie Dryden. Robin had let me know about her by sending a video, an email. But, you know, with just one thing or another, I just haven't had a chance to highlight Annie. So Annie, oh, this lady went missing from Middlesbrough. She's only 20 years old. 5th of February. So 5th of February, she went missing from Middlesbrough. My internet seems a little bit slow tonight for some reason. Let me just, some of you might know about this case. I didn't know about it until Robin brought it to my attention, to be fair. But some of you might know about it if you're in the local area, or you may have seen it. It's on the ITV news, but I don't remember seeing it on, because I tend to follow Sky News. I don't remember seeing it on Sky News, but anyway, she was last seen on the 4th of January. She boarded a train at James Cook train station in Middlesbrough and got off at Battersby in North Yorkshire. And she hasn't been seen since. Yeah, that's her getting off the bus. So I will do a video about Annie. I will highlight her. Oh, someone else, another family worrying about somebody who's gone missing. It's awful, isn't it? Anyway, Robin, I will do a special video about Annie. I will do that now that I'm back from Madrid, and this week try and get some videos done. Anyway, hi Nanielle. Did I say hi? Hi Robin, of course. Hi Nanielle. Oh, Nanny's been given a membership. Hi Amanda Jane. Hi Laurie. Hi Kelly. Hi Rio. Hi Julie. Hi Heather. Yeah, I hope you've all had a good Monday. I've had it like typical Monday. Lots of work. Just, you know, typical Monday. But not horrible Monday. I don't mean that. But, you know, Mondays are never brilliant, are they? Hi, Charlie. Hi, Karen Holmes. Oh, Julie got a membership. Thank you, Robin, for Julie's membership. Oh, thank you, Nanny, for thanking him. Oh, thank you, Heather. So about my necklace. I've dressed around my nail varnish today. I put some pink nail varnish on earlier, and I thought, oh God, I need to wear pink now to go with the nail varnish. Sometimes I dress the I dress around, you know, do the nail varnish depending on what clothes I've got on. But today I put the nail varnish on first and then decided what clothes to wear. Hi, Simon. Shut up, dog. Hi, Katrine. Shh. Riley started. Hi, Amethyst. Hi, Matthew. Hi, Neil. Oh, Simon got a membership. That was Robin who gifted that membership, Simon. Thank you, Robin. Oh, Ruth. Gary, Ruth. Thank you for asking my guides and angels to look after me. Thank you. I think they definitely did look after me. Thank you for that. Oh, Julie, I don't know if the body they found in Lancaster. See, they're always finding bodies in rivers. It's so common, isn't it? The thing is, we notice it now. We maybe not have noticed it before, that's all. You know, before the Nicola Bulley case, that sort of heightened our attention to sort of rivers and water deaths, etc., of all different kinds. Maybe we just didn't notice them before. I'm paranoid about water now. Gosh, Karen, 6. So Karen's saying that she's heard today 600 children go missing every day in Tennessee. Now, the thing is, probably a lot of them do reappear very quickly. We don't really get to know about that so much, do we? But that is a shocking amount, isn't it? Hi, Jean. It's raining where Charlie is. It's been raining here as well. Charlie's in Spain. It's been raining here all day as well. Oh, Ruth, you're not very good. You fell over. Oh, I hope you're feeling better soon. Just sit on a comfy couch. If you've got bruises, you need echinacea. Is it echinacea that you oil that you put on bruises? It really works. Hi, Wesley. You've got the same colour on, Nanielle. I do like a bit of pink. I do like a bit of pink. Yeah, Ruth is not Gary. Ruth is Gary's wife. Oh, Rio, well, you quite like water, don't you? What, are you going off to do some... Rio says she's off to a marina in Preston tomorrow. Do you mean to do like some wind sailing or windsurfing or whatever? Yeah, witch hazel's good for bruising. I reckon but I've got somebody... There is an oil that you can use for bruises. I can't remember what it's called. I've got some somewhere. I thought it was here. But it's not. God knows where it could be. Oh, Rio, you're going to look at a yacht. What to buy? You're going to buy a yacht. Oh, you're going travelling. You're going to take our killies on a yacht. Oh, thank you, Mello. Hi, Mello. Thank you. You're going to take... You're thinking of buying a yacht? You're going to come around Spain. You're going to sail around Spain. I couldn't. Arnica, Sky. Thank you, Sky. That exactly is it. Arnica that you rub on bruises. It's like an oil that you rub on bruises. It's really good. Like witch hazel, it brings the bruise out. Hi, Susan. Now I feel like I missed something there. Katrina's booked a date, but it's top secret. What date have you booked? You can't tell us if it's top secret. Oh, so the gang's all here, more or less. Riley's trying to get my attention. Come here on the chair. The chair is for you. On the chair. Come on. Come on, get on the chair. Come on. On the chair. Look, you've got a chair there to sit on. Gotcha. Right, Riley's here. Are you going to put your head up and say hello? Come on, get on the chair. What's the point of me putting a chair there for you if you don't get on it? Get on the chair. Oh, my dogs really miss me. They did miss me while I was in Madrid. I got a great big welcome when I got back. Okay, and this is what I'm going to talk to you about tonight, isn't it? My trip to Madrid, what I got up to, what I found out, where the case is of Ana. Now, let's have a look at Ana, first of all. For some of you may not know who Ana is. You may not have seen my videos about her. So, this is Ana Knezevich. Now, Ana is not Spanish. She is she was born in Colombia, but she is an American citizen. And the reason that I've got interested in this case is because she was living in Madrid, in Spain. I live in Spain. And she also is living in Madrid. She's been living there since, I think, November time, late autumn last year. And then she was going through a divorce with this guy. This is her husband, David Knezevich. And the reason she's got this Eastern European sounding surname is because he's Serbian. Now, I'm not sure where they met, but they had been married for 12 years. Here he is. And they had a business together. A very successful business by all accounts. I'm going to read to you something she was saying to people that, she felt like she never had to work again if she didn't want to work again because their business had done so well. But unfortunately, they did separate. Last year, they separated. Ana and her husband separated. And although her husband initially said through his lawyer that it was a very amicable divorce, after Ana went missing in Madrid, he said from Serbia, because he'd gone to live in Serbia, even though their marital home was actually in Florida, in America, but he went to live in Serbia, she went to live in Madrid. Apparently, he had another woman from Bogota in Colombia. And he turned around and said, oh, they had a very amicable divorce. There were no arguments. But it's since transpired that, yes, there were arguments. And that he actually apparently wanted 75% of their business, whereas, of course, she wanted 50% of their business. Now, they had no children, so there's no children involved in this whole divorce thing. But very strangely, on February, I think it was the 4th, but early in February, Ana disappeared completely. Now, this is her brother. This is Ana's brother. He lives in America. So all her family live in America. And her friend, her best friend, Sana, who I have been in touch with and I've been talking to through Messenger, she is Swedish and she lives in Sweden. So it seems, there don't seem to be, well, as far as we know, I don't know of the names of the friends that are actually in Spain, that Ana knows in Spain. Now, the other reason that this case is so sort of scary, if you like, or worrying, is because this is what happened. The apartment block where Ana lived, the door cam was spray painted black, so nobody could see anybody, nobody could see the video there. Inside the apartment, the CCTV in the hallway was spray painted black by a guy in a black crash helmet. So nothing could be seen. That was about at 9:30 on the Friday, 9:30 in the evening on the Friday that Ana went missing. These cameras were disabled by a man in a black crash helmet, and that's all they could see of him. You could only see his eyes, so you can't identify him. And we have no photo of him anyway. The police have not released that camera footage. So that was about 9:30 on the Friday night. I think approximately half an hour later, Anna was said to have been seen outside her apartment, but we've got no confirmation of that. Also, she was on message to her friend, talking in general, and that was the last time she was seen or heard of, as far as we know. But then the next morning, some very strange texts arrived. I think her brother received a text, or anyway, a Spanish friend received a text in Spanish. Her Swedish friend, there'll be a picture of her somewhere, maybe. No. Her Swedish friend, Sanna, received a picture, a message in English. Both messages seemed like they'd been written by Google Translate and didn't seem natural in either language. Now, going back to the business, this is their business. AOX Technology Solutions, IT provider. And it was a very successful business. This is Ana Knezevich from Pompano Beach, Florida. And this is Anna, who's gone missing. Let's have a look at it. Oh, it's LinkedIn. It's LinkedIn. I hate LinkedIn, to be honest. Anyway, this is her LinkedIn profile. Technology IT provider. Yeah, there's not much on there, to be honest. Keeping your business safe. She also had, or they had, some real estate, some Airbnb properties. We have had someone on the chat saying that they knew them or worked for them. I don't know if they, at the end of the day, I think one thing I want to say is when we have someone on the chat, and hopefully people are genuine, but we don't know if people are genuine or not. Also, something that I want to say that I always forget to say, but I don't need to say it too much with my chatters, but be kind to each other. You'll all have different views. You'll all have different opinions. If you don't agree with somebody's view on what's happened in a case, or you think they're being stupid, or you think it's crazy what they're saying, you don't say that. Just let them have their opinion. You have your opinion. If you don't agree with it, just scroll past it. If you do agree with it, then yeah. Or even if you don't agree with it and you can disagree in a respectful way, that's fine. But please, 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 don't be insulting people on the chat because you don't agree with what they're saying, which I honestly think is something that normally I don't have to say, but maybe every now and again I do have to say it. Okay, so that's Anna. So she's disappeared, and since then she has never been seen. And she'd also sent a text to say that she'd met some guy on the street, literally on the street, made an instant connection with him, and she decided to go off and stay at his summer house for 2 weeks. And all her friends and family said that was just ridiculous, that Anna would never do that. She just wasn't a person that would just suddenly meet someone and just go off and spend a couple of weeks with him. Anyway, it's been more than a couple of weeks now and she hasn't been heard from. Also, on the following Monday, she was supposed to meet a friend of hers at the train station. They were supposed to be going to Barcelona for a couple of days, and she did not turn up. So this is where we are. Anna has disappeared, without trace. And of course, her family are desperate for news, but they're in Florida, so that's a long way for them to come to Spain. They have been to Spain, and her friend has been to Spain from Sweden, but they can't spend all their time in Spain, and they can't just come and go from Spain. It's not exactly round the corner for them. Now the husband, let's get back to the estranged husband. He's under a lot of suspicion because he immediately contracted a criminal defense lawyer, and his lawyer has been speaking on his behalf, saying, he had nothing to do with Anna's disappearance. Of course, he hasn't come to Spain. to help out at all. Anna's family asked for some financial help because he is really well off, her husband, and I don't think they got any. They wanted some financial help to come to Spain, you know, for their trips to Spain, because they're not in the same fortunate financial position that he is. Anyway, he refused, apparently. He's refusing to come to Spain. He's refusing to go back to America. He's staying in Serbia. The FBI wanted to give him a lie detector test. He's refused it. You know, so it's obviously causing quite a lot of suspicion, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything. We have to remember that, because he may not, I honestly think he doesn't want to come to Spain because he thinks he'll get arrested, but maybe he would feel out of his depth because he doesn't speak Spanish, though he has contracted a lawyer in Spain as well. So, you know, who knows? You know, maybe he's got nothing to do with it. Maybe he has got nothing to do with it, but his behaviour has been suspicious, that's all. Okay, let me just go back and see. Hi, Tracy. I'm just worried in case I've missed anybody else, but I don't think I have. Let me go back down. Hi, Pauline. Have I said hello to Amethyst? I can't remember. Sorry. That's it in the end. I can't. Oh, hi, DMV. I know I haven't said hello to DMV. Thank you. Hi, Alana. Thank you. Alana likes my necklace. Okay. Here's Riley come back. So where am I going to start? There's a lot to say, a lot to talk about. So what I decided was, because I had offered to help before, because although Anna's family speaks Spanish, her friend Sana doesn't speak Spanish, and I'd seen her on some interviews and that, saying that she was finding it difficult to get information. She didn't really understand what was going on, etc. So I'd already offered to help, and then I decided I was going to go to Madrid and see if I could find out anything. So what I want to start off with is an article that I found in the Spanish news, which I hadn't seen before. Let me find it. And I want to read it out for you. Obviously, I'll be reading it out to you, you know, translating it, because it's in Spanish, but I'm going to share the screen and read it out to you in Spanish. So these are the things that have made it look. This is Informativos Telecinco. Telecinco is a TV channel in Spain, a bit like Channel 5. I think, you know, it's not like your BBC sort of type channel, but it's a famous channel, you know, it's a well-known channel. It's not an obscure channel. And this is an article that I hadn't seen before. So, Las contradicciones de David, the contradictions of David, the husband of Ana Knezevich, el marido de Ana Knezevich. So, what this means, el entorno de la estadounidense. So they always call her the American. But she was born in Colombia, but she's an American citizen. The disappeared American citizen confirmed that he lies. So basically, he said one thing, and then all of Anna's friends, etc., have come out and said, no, hang on, all these things that he's saying, they're not true. And this is an article by Gonzalo Baquia. And here's Anna, smiling, happier times, obviously. Anyway, according to the people around Anna, David is a liar, basically, is what they're saying here. So after 26 days of no news, he has limited himself to only cooperate with the authorities from Serbia, which is his so he will not go back to America. He will not come to Spain. He's staying in Serbia. He's staying put in Serbia, and he's only communicating with authorities in those other countries through his lawyers. He will not actually go. And anyway, her friend, I should say, Sana Ramos, she's the girl that I've been in touch with, the Swedish girl. She said, I leave it to the authorities to investigate why he is lying. So she knows that he's lying. Now, the frustrating thing for Sana is not only that she doesn't speak Spanish, but of course Anna's brother does speak Spanish, but the police are not talking at all. And I'm going to explain to you why in a minute. So, Anna is the woman of the woman from South Florida of Colombian origin who disappeared in Madrid the 2nd of February. So it was 2 days before Samantha Murphy went missing, because Samantha Murphy went missing on the 4th of February. And her case has alerted the national police, which are the most serious police in Spain, and the FBI, and they're supposedly working together. And Sana, the friend, said that her husband David is not telling the truth over where he said he was when he found out about her, disappearing without trace. So Ken Padovich, he's the lawyer of David Knezevich in America. He claims that right from the beginning, his client was in Serbia, in his birth country. But, however, Sana says, no, that's not true. Because Sana said she'd spoken to him after Anna went missing, and he said he was going to Serbia. He wasn't already in Serbia. This is what Sana claims. However, according to his lawyer, he says he went to rent an apartment in Belgrade at the end of January. But Sana, Anna's friend, says that on the 2nd of February, he was in Florida. So here's the first contradiction. And of course, contradictions always alert people, don't they? So if he's saying that he's been in Serbia since the end of January, but he said to Sana on the telephone that he was on the 2nd of February, that he was still in Florida. Well, one of those is a lie. One's a lie. Was he, which one? But anyway. So his lawyer was speaking on his behalf. He insists it was not a complicated divorce, but then it turns out it was a complicated divorce. His lawyer said they were sorting it all out in a friendly way, to arrive at an agreement. But of course, it turns out that isn't true. So anyway. And here's Anna again, and this is Sana. You can't see her very well on that picture, but that's her best friend, Sana. There's Anna enjoying the sun in Madrid by the look of it. Yes, that's definitely Madrid, because this is Cibeles, I think it's called. This is one of the famous sites of Madrid. It's a bit like Trafalgar Square or something like that in the UK. It's a place that people go to in Madrid to have their photo taken, etc. So I would say that is definitely Madrid, that they've had that picture taken. So the family of Anna, they insist that the divorce was a difficult one, and there was a lot of problems with the with the separation of assets. So whereas David was saying through his lawyer that there was no problem, apparently there was a problem, because he only wanted Anna to have 25% of the assets, and she wanted 50% of the assets. So I don't know. Anyway, they said that it hadn't been easy, the divorce. This is her family, and it's going back to this. Oh, Anna wanted 50-50 and he wanted 70-30%. And also that Anna had said for her safety she would rather be quiet. So anyway, now I'd never read this before, so I was interested in this article because I did not know that there had been talk of her feeling that she was unsafe. Why was she? So her friends are asking, why was she scared? Who was she scared of? And what is escaping public attention? What is it that the public don't know about? Anyway, a person close to Anna affirms that David was unfaithful with a woman from Bogota during their marriage, and they went while they were going to see marriage counsellors. In the middle of them going to see marriage counsellors to try and sort their marriage out, he was being unfaithful, and according to their friend, to her friend, this had destroyed her, had really upset her. And that's why she had wanted to leave Fort Lauderdale to go and live alone in Madrid, because she just had to get away from the whole situation. Now, another thing that apparently, according to this article, Anna had told a friend that she had money, and if she wanted to, she could retire now. She was 40, Anna. She looks a lot younger. She was 40 years old. She told her friend that if I wanted to retire tomorrow, I could retire tomorrow. Anyway, she'd come to Madrid in December. She'd rented a flat in Francisco Silvela Street, which is a bloody long street. Believe me, I've walked practically the whole street this weekend. And she had left him to be she just left and decided she wanted to go to Madrid, get away from it all. Not quite sure why she chose Madrid itself, because it sounds like she could have gone anywhere. So why she chose Madrid, I'm not sure. But they had a very, very good lifestyle, very high lifestyle. They'd been very successful in their work, etc. So there certainly was no money worries in this relationship. But you know what it's like with people with money, no matter how much money they've got, they always want a bit more. So he didn't want to give Anna 50%. He only wanted to give her 30%, but she didn't want 30%. She wanted 50%. So, even though she'd already said to a friend that she had money to retire. So, I don't know. But she was intending to start her own business in Madrid, apparently. Also, he has sold already some of their assets. He's sold them. And he's actually, what's this? Undated. So one of their properties with 5 bedrooms and a pool was sold on the 26th of January for 950,000 euros. So I don't know who got that money. But she bought a Mercedes Descot. I know the Spanish word now, I can't think of the English word. An open top car. And also there was a Nissan car bought and various motorbikes. So was David in Florida? What this article is asking, was David in Florida when this house was sold, or in Serbia? Did Anna know about this sale of this property or not? Anyway, another interesting thing that comes up in this article that I didn't know about before was some mortgage details and some death threats. 2 men had threatened David in 2018, according to the Daily Mail. Where does the Daily Mail get all this information from? But apparently the couple had been involved in a series of recent demands including a bank that was taking them to a tribunal about a mortgage that they hadn't paid of around €399,000. Also, then David was demandado. What would we say? He was taken to court, I suppose. Again, in last October, because he'd got behind on a second mortgage of €435,000, but both cases were desestimados. In other words, both cases were shelved. So, and then the Daily Mail also says that so there also says that Anna's husband had taken out a protection order in 2018 against two men who had threatened him with murder, that had hit him and threatened him with murder. And, so it sounds like they were, just sounds to me that maybe they were mixing with people, or there were people involved in their lives that may have done something to Anna, kidnapped her or whatever. It may not be David. It may be a result of business dealing, etc. Right. Okay. So apparently this protection order eventually was shelved because David when it came to the end of the first. So imagine if you get like one of those sort of orders, maybe you get it for a year, that people have got to keep their distance for a year. And when it came up to the next time that David was supposed to go and present and ask for another, for further time, he didn't turn up. So then the sort of protection order was disbanded because he didn't turn up at the next meeting. Anyway, his lawyer, Padovich, David's lawyer, Padovich, says he's very worried about the disappearance of Anna. He's collaborating with the authorities in every way possible, but he's not going to Spain. And he said that there was no reason. He didn't say the reason why David returned to his native country, returned to Serbia so suddenly. Nobody knows why he decided to go back to Serbia. But Anna's family says that he had been very cold when they spoke to him about information about her disappearance. They were surprised at his behaviour. So his lawyer explained that his client was not going to move from Serbia because he didn't have a place to stay in Spain and he didn't know how to speak Spanish. Also, he revealed that he was thinking of returning to Florida because that's where he's got his properties and his business. But, poor Cave Welvey said, why did he not return? Why did he go? What the people are asking is, why did he go to Serbia in the first place? And why has he not returned yet after the disappearance of his wife? Okay, so of course there's no, the law of the state of Florida indicates that in the absence of a certificate of death, which obviously no one's saying Anna's death, there'd be years before there'd be any. She'd have to be missing for years before they would give a death certificate. There's no way that they're going to give a death certificate unless they find a body. It's just not going to happen. But anyway. So, an ex-worker of Microsoft. Okay, so limited collaborators. So, her husband is insisting he's nothing to do with it. and he's got a reason for everything that seems contradictory. Anyway, so everything's in the hands of the FBI, apparently, as far as America's concerned. David is 35 years old, so he's a little bit younger than Anna, and he's got 15 years of experience in the IT world. He's worked as a senior engineer in digital realty. He's done all sorts of things. And Anna worked for him. She was one of the first that worked for him. And she is licensed in administration and management of business from EFIT University. Okay, now they're going to go on and talk about the disappearance of Anna, which we've talked about, and I'm going to talk about a bit more. So that's enough for that. There were some interesting things in that article, that I didn't know about before. I didn't know that there had been threatened by two men in 2018. I mean, is it because of David's or even Anna's, dodgy business deals? Has she been kidnapped? I hope she has been kidnapped, because I think that's the best case scenario as far as Anna's concerned, personally. Best case scenario is that she has been kidnapped, because she may still be alive somewhere. And I think there is reason for hope, again, which I'm going to explain to you in a minute when we look at the police, the case that's going on in Spain at the moment. So bearing in mind all this, I decided I was going to go to Madrid. Sorry, Mike. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Katrina. Sorry, just say hello to people that might have missed. So this is a hell of a, a situation, isn't it? So Anna's gone off to Madrid. This particular night on the 2nd of February, she's disappeared and she's never been seen again. So what I decided was I was going to go to Madrid and try and find something out, if I could maybe talk to locals, etc. Because the thing is, people quite often will talk to people who aren't police, especially if they're immigrants and things like that, because bearing in mind that Anna was, she wasn't an immigrant. I mean, she had money, etc. But, she was Colombian. There's a big Colombian presence in Madrid. Everywhere, all over Spain, there are a lot of Colombian immigrants, and some of which will not be here legally. So some people will not want to talk to the police, but it's amazing what people will say, when they're relaxed with you, when you're not the police. And this is what I found when I was in Madrid. Oh my God. And I know that Spanish people, they like to talk. They are talkative. So they love to talk. They love to chat. So if you can get on their right side, they will chat to you, about anything for ages. They're lovely people. They're very sociable people. So what I'm going to show you now is the video. What we're going to look at now is that I've put all my bits and pieces together in a video, and I'm going to show you the video. And I'm going to stop it here and there and explain to you what's happened, because this is the entire video from when I started the journey, more or less, to what I got home. Not only the things that I found out with Anna, but also other things that I did while I was there. I hope you found, and I'm going to just stop it when relevant and explain things to you. Let's see. Okay, so this is who it's all about, first of all. Oops, let me just stop it. God. yeah, this is who it's all about. This is Anna's missing poster that's been put together by the missing persons department, if you like, in Madrid. They put this together for Anna's disappearance. Bless her. And it just gives details, obviously, of her appearance. We've got the photo there, but it gives some details, who to ring if you know anything, if you've got any information, etc. So what I decided, I was going to go off to Madrid. And Madrid, I would recommend anyone to go and visit Madrid. It's a very nice place. This is a photo of Madrid. It's not a good picture, actually, because it's quite small. Madrid is a typical capital city. It's vibrant. It's got a lot going on, but it's also got its problems. There's a lot of homelessness. That's what I think I found, apart from the fact there was lots of people everywhere. A bit too peoply for me. I'm too used to living in my little village. But there was a lot of homeless people, which was quite distressing, really. So those of you if you're members, because what I did was while I was on my way there, I did take a couple of little videos and just release them to members, just to give them a little teaser as to where I was going. And as we started off, we were in the car, so we started off journey in the car. A little video of that. Little teasers. And it was a really weird day because it was Thursday evening that I went, and we've had lovely weather, all week, and then Thursday was really strange. It was very overcast, and we've got a lot of sand in the air, and it gives this sort of orangey tint to the sky. It's quite freaky, and eventually it'll rain. Well, it has rained, and it's what we call dirty rain. It's like brown rain. You're clearing up for ages afterwards because all this Sahara sand that's in the air, in the clouds, when it rains, it all comes down and it's all over the place. You can see there weren't many cars on the road. I do love travelling, I've got to say. Sometimes I enjoy the travelling more than I actually enjoy it when I get there. I love that feeling when you're travelling, it's like nothing matters, does it? Because you're in this sort of limbo, like you can't deal with any problems, even if you've got problems, because you're travelling. So there's nothing you can do about them. You're like in this limbo space. I do like that feeling. I prefer, I'm not a lover of flying, though I've got better as I've got older, but the rest of it I love. It will finish in a minute. It doesn't, it doesn't. Ah. So just stop there. I've just seen Amethyst. Honestly, Amethyst, it's brilliant. The train from, so you'd go to Alicante as well. Alicante, you get on that train to Madrid, it's 2.5 hours. It's a beautiful train, it's comfortable, it's honest to God, I can honestly say I could just go backwards and forwards on the train. I love the train journey, I love trains. And it's so quick, 2.5 hours it takes you right into the centre of Madrid. Just I'm going to show you what hotel we stayed in, etc. I would definitely recommend the hotel. It is expensive in Madrid. That's the one thing that I would say to you. It's very expensive. If you're used to living somewhere like Torrevieja, which is quite, the really good value, isn't it, in Torrevieja for meals out, etc. But in Madrid, everything's expensive. But I didn't realise I showed this for so long. Don't need to see this. Got it. I thought it'd be finished by now. Why is it not finishing? Oh, I think this, you can see the sea here. Come on. Then I was sort of trying to tease you a bit because we did park up at the airport. Realised now we probably could have parked up at the train station, somewhere to put your car. We left our car at the airport because it's so cheap to leave it there for a few days. And then there are buses every 20 minutes from the airport to the train station. But I think there is long-term parking at the train station, we've realised now. And probably we could have parked at the airport, at the actual train station itself. But anyway, it wasn't a problem. We just got on the bus right outside. The buses are every 20 minutes, take about 10-15 minutes. Just to let you know, though, Amethyst, the train will be more expensive in the summer, obviously, because the train is seasonal, just like flights. There are some when you go through the list of the train timetables, there's more expensive ones and others, depending on what time you go, if it's peak time or whatever. But it's really cheap. I mean, the actual train itself, I think, was only about €50 return. And we went first class. We travelled first class because it was just nicer. And it might have come in the end to about €75 return, which you think about for first class is brilliant. Oh, yeah. And then we had a lovely beer. I think I posted a picture of that, didn't I? We had a lovely beer. And then here's the train. Oh, God, it was just so exciting seeing the train. I'm like a kid when it comes to trains. I was all excited because I was going on a train. Now, this is the speed that it goes. So I think it was 244 kilometers an hour on this particular photo, but I saw it go up to nearly 290 kilometers an hour. It goes so quickly. So it's only 2.5 hours it takes to get there. So, but it's funny, you feel like you're on an aeroplane. I kept looking for my seatbelt, it's like, it's like a comfortable aeroplane. It's like flying business class. That's how it felt. It was lovely. Not that I know what it's like to fly business class. I'd like to do that. It's on my bucket list, maybe one day. Now, this is the hotel or hostel that we stayed in. So they're quite deceptive, the names, because they call themselves a hostel, but it's not hostel, like a youth hostel, like you think of. It was a hotel, but it was only a 2-star hotel. So basically, it was just basic, your room, your shower, but it was lovely. It was a lovely hotel. It was so central, literally. You come out on the street here, and then just walk up the road and you were right in the main square. So it was, oh my God, hang on. I was trying to show the name of the hotel. It was the Hostel Persal. Anyway, this was the lobby of the hotel. You know what my brilliant videos like it are. So the first night, let me just tell you about the first night that we got there. We got there solo. There was a little bit of a panic when we got there because we got a little bit lost on the subway. But we found our way in the end. But I was starting to panic because I hate being somewhere that I don't know in the dark. And there were so many people, you know, it literally so many people wandering around, because by the time we got there, I think it was probably about 10 o'clock by the time we got off the subway and everything. And we were trying to find the hostel. Oh, that's right. It was funny because we were trying to find it on, like, you know, you've got your Google map or whatever directions, and it just wasn't doing it. It wasn't working. So in the end, I just said, look, let's just get a taxi. It can't be far away from where we are. Let's just get in a taxi. So we flagged down this taxi. And this guy, he was lovely, actually, this taxi driver. I wish we would have taken his card and then used him for the rest of the time we were there, because he was so lovely, because he just turned around and he went, Hostel Persal. It's 200 yards away, or like, well, meters or whatever. And he literally, the taxi to go to the hostel cost us €4.40. So we were literally just round the corner. He sort of loaded up our suitcases in the taxi, drove round the corner, and that was it. Oh, here you are, you know, like. But we were going the complete wrong way, so I'm still glad we did it, because I don't know where we would have ended up. We were walking complete wrong way, and we got in this taxi with this guy, and he literally took us back round the corner from where we'd started from. We'd walked past this place, and it was €4.40. So anyway, so we got there and we got to the hostel. It was just straight to bed. You know, it's like we'd had a drinky poos on the train. We'd had some snacks, a bottle of wine. We were knackered. And, you know, traveling always makes you tired. And I'd worked from 9 o'clock in the morning as well. So it was just, you know, I just said, oh, that's it, I'm off to bed. Crash out and get up early in the next morning. So the next morning went for breakfast. We had breakfast at the hotel. And what I did the next morning was, first thing I did was I phoned the courts, because I heard that this case was being heard in the Juzgado de Violencia sobre la Mujer número 9, which is the court, the Violence Against Women court, number 9 in Madrid. So I phoned them and I spoke to a guy there who was so friendly, so nice, but he couldn't give me any information. He just said, look, I cannot even tell you that that case is being held here. I cannot tell you anything. I can't confirm it. I can't deny it. It's completely hush hush. So, but he did give me the number for somewhere else. And he gave me the number for the Oficina de Prensa Tribunal Superior de Justicia de Madrid. They like their long titles, which basically is the press office for the courts. So the courts apparently have their own press office. So he gave me the phone number of the press office, and I phoned them, and they were everyone I've spoken to has been so helpful. And because what I wanted to know was, I knew what road Anna's apartment was on, but I didn't know the number. And when we got there and we looked on the map and we realised this was a massive long road. You know, it wasn't like just a short street you could walk up and ask people. It was like, you know, huge long road. So I had messaged Anna's friend and asked her if she would, you know, try to put it in a diplomatic way. And I said, you know, I'm here in Madrid and I'd quite like to go and talk to locals, you know, neighbours, etc. What do you think? Do you think it'd be a good idea? And if you wouldn't mind me doing that, can you let me know which number it is? Now, she didn't reply till late. Unfortunately, she didn't reply with the number until later that day when we'd already come back. So and when I phoned the press office, they didn't even know the name of the street, never mind the number. He said he would phone the courts, try and find out what he could, and he would ring me back later. And to be honest, I wasn't expecting a call back, but he did call me back later. Anyway, the call back later that morning when we were on this street, which I'm going to show you the video of in a minute, he phoned back to tell me he couldn't give me any information, that, you know, that this case has been declared secret, secreto de las actuaciones. And this is what they do with certain cases in Spain. You know, the legal system is very complicated in Spain. But if it's a very sensitive case where they don't want to release any information for whatever reason, they make it secret, complete, and that means literally nothing. So even when I'd phoned the courts, that court could not even confirm that the case was even being held there. That's how secret it was. So no information whatsoever can be released. So basically, the definition of this secret of the actions, let me just read it out to you in full, because it's quite it's interesting. So they assess every case that's held. They assess it and they give it like a criteria, you know, and they decide whether details can be released or can't be released. And there's various things that decide that. And in this case, because it's gone to the core of gender violence, in other words, it's been declared, whatever crime they think has been committed, and we don't know because they're not saying what it was, but whatever crime it is, it's been decreed to be gender violence based. So it's not like, you know, a robbery that could apply to a man or a woman. It could have been an offence against a man or a woman. It is an offence by a man against a woman. It's been decreed that, and that's why it's being held at that case. And what gender violence, how they consider gender violence, is it consists of, it could be abandonment, jealousy, insults, humiliation, marginalisation, indifference, lack of love, infidelity, destructive comparisons, rejection, and threats. And it can also refer to limitations of money or possessions that lead to dependence and control over the affected person. So effectively, it's coercive control. It's coercive control in whatever form that might take. And that's what Anna's case has been declared as, a case of gender violence or coercive control or whatever. So whether that means, doesn't necessarily mean they think her husband's done something to her, but basically what it does mean is that whatever's happened there, it's a crime of a man against a woman. Now, that might be a husband or it could be any man, but they've decided that whatever has happened to Anna, could be a kidnapping, couldn't it? It might not be a murder, it could be a kidnapping, whatever it is a crime of a man or various men against a woman. It's a gender-specific crime as far as they're treating it that has happened. So that's interesting. And personally, I thought it was like almost positive. I know that sounds silly, but because they may feel that she has been kidnapped rather than been murdered, you know. So if they feel that she's been taken against her will, you know, she may still be alive. This is my hope, you know, that she may have been taken against her will, but she may still be alive, but I don't know. But anyway, that's what they've decided. There is a gender crime, not a robbery, not a crime that could be committed against a man as well. This is a crime that could only be committed by a man against a woman. Now, the reason that that's important in Spain is because over the last sort of 10 years, Spain has really stepped up their domestic violence laws and coercion, because Spain had a terrible reputation for domestic violence. You know, it was notorious really for having like, and during COVID, oh my God, there were so many, you know, those poor women that were stuck with these abusive partners during COVID, and there was you know, there was murder after murder. It just felt like every day I was reading some poor woman who'd been murdered by her partner during COVID, you know, when everyone was just stuck together. And, you know, and they really were here. It was a very strict lockdown. And I think it resulted probably in quite a lot of murders. But anyway, even before that, Spain had already started to try and address this sort of reputation they had for, you know, not having a good record on domestic violence. And there's many things that they put into play, many laws, very speedy trials, like almost a course for men. You know, if a man was accused of domestic violence, he had to go, you know, to a special place and do a course on how to treat women, etc. You know, they really sort of tried their best to do something about domestic violence. And I think this is a result of that. Anyway, so what this press office told me was that the case was secret. Nobody could give any information, but that didn't mean to say that I couldn't go and ask questions. I was free to go ask questions. I could even go to the police if I wanted and ask them, and they may or may not give me some information, but the courts could not give any information. And they said, you're free to go and, you know, talk to neighbours. They were so helpful, and they were saying to me, oh, good luck, we hope that you get some answers. You know, I was very struck all the time I was there with the positivity that came from everyone. You know, it was nice. So off we went to the Salamanca district on the Friday morning. And I had, as I say, I had the name of the street. We got the subway, went to one end of this street that just went on for miles, and started asking a few questions here and there, because we were thinking, oh, will it be at this end of the street or will it be at the other, right at the other end? As it turned out, it was somewhere in the middle. But we started off at the beginning of the street and got talking, first of all, in one building. And what we found, or what I found, was if you just hung around outside these buildings on the street, someone would come out, you know, to find out why you were hanging around. So that's what I did. And they'd come out and we'd get talking, and I'd ask them about Anna. And some people on that first day, actually, none of the people that I asked about the case had even heard of it. And that was a bit depressing, because they were all on the same road. But having said that, they were quite a long way from the actual place where it happened. Anyway, let me show you that. Let me see, where am I? So what's actually on here is the food that we had in the restaurant, which really you don't need to see. So this was the restaurant we went to. There was a restaurant next door called Ginger's, of all things. And that's where we ate in the end, both the evenings that we were there. Not the first evening when we arrived there, we'd already eaten on the train. But the next two evenings we ate in this restaurant. Okay, so this is the video that I took on the first morning. And I wanted you to see how busy this road is. And this road is always this busy. We've been told that since. It's one of the main roads in that area. So, you know, I still do, I do not see how Anna could have been taken out of her flat, whether it was dark. Maybe, yeah, it would have been dark probably the time that they think it might have happened. But even so, if you look at this road, it is crazy busy. So, hi, it's me, Vicki Marie, and here I am in the Barrio de Salamanca in Madrid. And somewhere along this road, this long road, is where the apartment where Ana Knezevich disappeared. So you can see, though, it's a very, very long road, and we've been trying to find out, the exact number of the apartment, and it's impossible. As I go through this video with you on the live stream, I'll explain to you sort of what we've been trying to do, we've spoken to, etc. So far, we haven't been able to find out, so I'm just taking this video in case we still can't find out. But I want to give you, let you know how the area is. So further back behind me, it goes into the town centre, and that's where all the shops are, etc. And then the further you come out along this road, along this Barrio Salamanca, it gets more salubrious, let's say. So as we're coming out these apartment blocks, we can see there's loads of them. And I don't know which one is Anna's apartment, the number, I just know the name of the street. But then when we got here and we saw how long the street is, it goes, we've had to get a bus along it to the end of it. To walk it would take you at least an hour, if not longer. And it's quite hot now. You can probably see the sun's out. It's busy, of course. This is town centre, capital city. Busy, very busy area. But so what I wanted to do, just in case I can't actually find the exact, apartment, I want to show you an example of some of the apartments. And it will have been something like we've spoke to some security guards, etc. Be something like this, where you'd go in, there'd be a concierge who's sort of a security. Yeah, so on this morning, I didn't have a clue which number it was on this great big massive long road. So I was just taking a video just to try and give an example of what the apartments were like. And also you could see how busy the road is. And this was not rush hour. Some of the apartments that we've been into and asked. Unfortunately, the ones that we've been in and asked so far, they didn't know anything about the case, but they were up the other end. We feel that once we get up this end, maybe some people somewhere will know, and will know the exact apartment block. But it is a bit like a needle in a haystack, so we may not be able to, go to the actual apartment block, but I'm still trying. And what was the other thing I wanted to tell you? So yeah, apparently the case of Anna is being treated at the. I've been in touch with the press office. Her case is being dealt with at court number 9 of the gender violence, but it has been marked as completely secret. No information is allowed out about that case whatsoever. It's completely secret. So they can't, even the press office that I spoke to, they didn't even know this road, that it was on this road, but certainly, and they've been trying to find out for me, what the actual apartment number is, and they haven't been able to find. That's the press office of Spain who deals with criminal cases. They've been so helpful, they couldn't have been more helpful, to be honest. And they've tried their best to find out, and they can't even find out for them, for the Spanish press. never mind for a sort of gonzo journalist like me. But they wish me luck with it, you know, and they're saying it's very important, this is a big case, and the fact that it's all been marked as completely secret means that it is a big case, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes for them, because otherwise, if it was, you know, a more simple case, it wouldn't all be secret. So I just wanted to show you the area that I'm in. Yeah, I wonder if it's like an apartment block like this. You can see some of these apartments are very, very nice. I'll probably get arrested for taking video. Now, I just wanted to go back to that. Now, you see here, when I look at the look around, hang on. Yeah, I wonder if it's like an apartment block like this. You can see some of these apartments are very, very nice. Now, this is the entrance to the apartment block. Now you can see it's closed there, and to get in there, you've got to ring, you know, the the doorbell that had been painted black in Anna's apartment. If you wanted to get into this apartment block, you've got to press one of the doorbells, and then they can see you and decide whether to let you in or not. So you can see there that the door's closed. Now, in a moment, when I finish the video, I turned back round to the door, and the door was open. It's quite it's like horror film, really. You know, the door swings open like, and I thought, oh, somebody's opened that door. You know, somebody has opened that door for a reason. So I went up the path, went into the lobby. And the concierge was in there. He must have opened the door. I think he saw me out there taking videos. Maybe he was sort of thinking, oh, what are they doing or whatever. And he'd opened that door. So I went in. He was stood at the top of the stairs. And I went in and I said to him, oh, do you mind if I ask you some questions? And we got chatting. And he was lovely, the guy. And he was Romanian. He spoke perfect Spanish. He's lived in Spain for 20 odd years. And we got talking about it. He hadn't heard about it. And I was telling him that I didn't know the exact number, but, you know, it was an apartment block, probably a little bit similar to this, blah, de, blah, de, blah. And we had a really long conversation. And I was thinking about it, and I thought it's probably quite boring being a concierge, you know, just waiting for people to come in and out. He seemed to really enjoy chatting to me. Anyway, he asked to have a look at a photo of Anna, and I showed him the photo on the missing poster. And he said, oh, you know, it looks familiar. He said, but I can't believe that I haven't heard about it because I watch the news every day, you know. And then he started telling about how he came to live in Spain, and I was telling about how I'd come to live in Spain, and we had a really good conversation. And he's one more person that does know about Anna, at least now. Then when we came away from there, let me just play this bit to the end. I think I finished this video pretty soon. I'll probably get arrested for taking video. But anyway, okay, I'll see you later for a live. Bye. Yeah, so that was on the Friday morning, and I just finished that video then. We then went from there, we walked up this road, and there was like a salon, you know, a nails salon. You know, they did threading and, you know, beauty things, not a hair salon, it was beauty type things. So I went in there and got talking to the girl on the reception there, I don't know if she was the owner or she worked there. And we were talking to her. She'd never heard of the case. I showed her the photo and that. Anyway, there was a woman sat in there. Now, I don't know if she was a relative of the young girl or if, you know, she was a client. But she said, oh, sorry, what's that about? You know, she heard us talking. She started asking about it and got in a really good conversation with her, which she'd not heard of the case, but it turned into a conversation about Kate Middleton. She adored Kate Middleton, and she was like really interested in what had happened to her. And this was just before Kate's announcement of her cancer diagnosis. And she took the details of my YouTube channel and she said, "Oh, don't you do videos in Spanish?" I said, "No, not yet," but I thought, God, maybe I should do these videos in Spanish as well, because she was really interested in all of it. And she said her husband had a cafe over the road. He was Argentinian and he was really interested in anything to do with the royal family and anything to do with true crime. So what we did then is we sort of walked up the road further from the beauty salon, and then we crossed over and started sort of walking back again. And then we realized it's just like we could go on forever down this street. It was so long, and we could end up, we could be miles away from where it had actually happened and we didn't know. So we decided to get a taxi and go home. And when we went home and we had, went back to the hotel and got a coffee and whatever. And as we were sat there, Anna's friend, Sana, sent me the number of the apartment block. But it was too late to go back that day. But looking back now, I wish we had, because I didn't know at the time that the concierge at Anna's apartment block does not work Saturdays. So it was, we would have been able to go and see the concierge if we would have gone back that day. But anyway, we didn't. We decided we'd go back the next day. And now we've got the actual apartment number, block number, and we can actually specifically go to the correct apartment block. Then I decided I was going to go more prepared this time, because everyone was so interested that we spoke to. We spoke to about 5 different people, and although they didn't know about the case, they were very interested in it. And of course, I didn't have any cards to leave them to get in touch with me if they heard anything or blah, blah, blah. So I went off to the print shop. Of course, in Spain, everything's open till 10 o'clock at night. So I think by this time it was probably 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Went off to the print shop. I think after I'd had a nap, I had a nap first. Got some not cards exactly made up, but some paper things made up. Got some photos printed off of Anna, so I could just quickly show a photo as soon as I got talking to someone, instead of looking for a photo on the phone, etc. And that was the next step. We went for a meal. We went, literally went for a meal, went to a restaurant, and then I just went off to bed again. But the next morning, I've posted this pictures, a picture of me with a coffee, a water, the photos of Anna, a card, and off we went. Now we knew the exact address. So just looking at night Amethyst, just looking at what Caroline's just asked. No, the concierge was on, but the concierge finishes at 8 o'clock. And the cameras were painted out at 9:30. And Anna disappeared. Well, the last time she was heard of was round about 10 o'clock that evening. So the concierge had finished, but it was a Friday night. They had been working that day. It's very sad. Hi, Misty. Yeah, no, I'm not quite JLR. Oh, and just something I need to say, just in case. I've just seen a cockroach run across my living room floor. So whenever it rains, it always brings some cockroach in or another. So I'm not quite sure where it's gone, but before I did just spray. So if you hear me screaming, it's because I've seen a cucaracha, cockroach. Okay, so off we went, all prepared. And this is Anna's apartment block. So you can see it's got alarms, etc. Now, whether they've been put there, that I'm going to contact the alarm company when I get a chance. And they may give me the phone number of the concierge, because they've got to have a contact number, haven't they? Got Kentucky next door. It's it doesn't look like much from the outside, but you can tell when you look up, well, you'll see it in a minute. It's a very nice apartment complex.
Oh, he's got away. Easy.
So it's just typical of everywhere in Spain. It never looks like any apartment buildings, flats and houses in Spain. They're like TARDISes. They have a little door like that, and you think, oh, that doesn't look like much. But you go in and they go back miles, or they go underneath miles, or they go up miles. And they're always a lot bigger than they look on the outside. So
Can you see any security cameras?
So as we were stood outside this Style and Cut place next door, the woman that was working in there or whatever, she came out to see what we were doing, and I got talking to her. But she did it, she's right next door. She said, oh no, I don't know anything. She was the only one that we spoke to who was a little bit, she wasn't horrible or anything, but she wasn't very accommodating. She just said straight away, oh no, I don't know anything. But she must have known something. I mean, a bloody shop is right next door. She must have known something. So here's the road again, just to give a perspective of, and this is not rush hour. Now, the thing is, you have to understand the way things are in Spain. 10 o'clock in the evening, it would have been heaving. People would have all been going out, especially on a Friday night in Madrid. They're all going out. That's a big night out. This is how busy this road was, even when it was quiet. But unfortunately, because the concierge wasn't there, I couldn't get in the building. Well, I suppose what I could have done is pressed all the buttons and hoped somebody let me in. But anyway, I didn't want to do it. I don't like to piss people off either, so. I think I'll go right up to the door in a minute.
So how busy it is, very busy.
And the thing is, it is right on the street. It's not tucked away round a corner where it's right blatant front street. Now, Alana, we don't know who let him into the block, but it has been. See, what I don't understand is it has been said that, the thing is, that we could have, there's one time that we could have got in. Somebody came out, and I suppose I could have just gone and said, oh, gracias, and gone to go in if I was a bit more pushy that way. Maybe I'm not pushy enough. There's no way I'm going to walk into a private block like that. And piss people off, because then I think that people don't talk to you if you piss people off, they won't talk to you. But if you don't piss them off, if you talk to ask them in a roundabout way and be nice, people say all sorts to you. But yeah, I don't really understand how he got in. And also, what you've got to remember, what he did first of all was he sprayed this cat. There's a camera here. He sprayed that first with the spray black paint before he went in and sprayed the cameras inside. Now, there have been articles saying that maybe it was not connected, because sometimes there are robberies in that area. It's a very upscale area. It's a very affluent area, and there's quite often are robberies, and that's what they do, the thieves. They spray out the CCTV, so it may not have even been connected, but it just seems a bit of a massive coincidence, doesn't it, that on the night that it gets sprayed, Anna disappears. So you can see here, you could see there, you can see me in the mirror there. As I walk up to the door here, yeah, this is what the first thing that got sprayed out. This is a camera. So there's not loads of apartments there. You can see the number of apartments. How many have we gone? 2, 3. There's about 15 apartments. So there's not loads. It's not a massive apartment block. And then whoever went in there also sprayed out the CCTV cameras in the hallway. I think I have made this bigger, and you can see. I might, that's something I'd like to do this week, is phone the alarm company. I may get some information out of them. I haven't finished investigating yet. I did what I could while I was there, but I haven't finished looking into it yet. And I'm very encouraged that when I've let Anna's friend know, what I did get to know, she was really nice and grateful. And, I feel like I don't know if maybe it would just make, because she's not getting any information from the police, and the family are not getting any information from the police. So it's probably just nice to get some background information themselves. She said to me today when we were messaging, she didn't even know what it meant to go to the gender violence court, because she doesn't understand how Spain operates. And I think just any little bit of comfort you get is better than nothing. So I certainly haven't finished investigating yet, but I'm going to ring the security company. Also, anyway, and there's other things I'm going to do. I'll tell you in a minute. But yeah, Naniel, you're right. Anyone could ring on the doorbell on one and say, "Oh, pizza delivery," and pretend they've rang the wrong. Now, bearing in mind that the guy who sprayed out the paint, he had a motorcycle helmet on, so he probably looked just like a pizza delivery guy. And actually, while we were there, Mercadona, which is a supermarket, famous supermarket in Spain, a bit like Tesco, they were coming out doing it. That was when we could have gone in. I could kick myself really, because as he came out with the empty delivery, maybe he would have let me in, because he wouldn't have known that I didn't live there. I could have just pretended that I lived there. But yeah, as we were there standing outside, the supermarket delivery guy came out. So, anyone, a bunch of flowers, a pizza, Chinese, Indian, they've got Uber Eats and Just Eat and all those things in Madrid, Domino's Pizza, all those delivery services. You can get anything delivered. So, could well be that. Now, this was the missing poster that is on the lamppost right outside. And what was interesting about that is when there's a restaurant a couple of doors up, and we went there and spoke to, she was the best contact that I made, Maria her name was, and she's Mexican, and she's got a restaurant just a few doors down. She knew a lot about this case, and she knows her friend is a friend of Anna's. They've got a mutual friend. She thought that Anna had been in the restaurant at some point. with this friend who's Mexican as well. And she said, "Oh, I'll ask her when I see her next about, so." And she took my card and she said she'd let me know anything that she got to know about. We had a really long conversation. In fact, because I've got a Word document with everything that I found out while I was there. And yeah, she was the best contact, Maria. She knew a lot about the area. She'd been there for a long time. She'd been in Spain for 20 odd years. And she queried the comings and goings at the apartment block. Now, she said to me that there was a lot of comings and goings at that apartment block. And she felt there was some, not Anna, because remember, Anna was only in an Airbnb, just a temporary accommodation there. And the thing is, when you rent places, I mean, it's a lovely area. The Salamanca area is the upscale area of Madrid, but she didn't know who else was in that apartment block. And Maria seemed to be insinuating to me that there were some maybe escort girls in that apartment block, possibly because she said there was a lot of comings and goings. She said she had men in her restaurant sometimes, and people forget that when you're in a restaurant, you don't notice the waiters or waitresses, but they're walking past all the time. Someone's on the phone doing whatever they're doing on their phone. Waiters and waitresses see what they're doing, as they walk past. And she said, she's seen men looking for women there, on their phones, when she's walked past with the enchiladas or whatever. And she was because of all the time she's lived in Madrid, she said it used to be a lovely place. Spain is traditionally a very safe place to be. It is, and obviously every capital city has its problems. But a couple of people, a taxi driver, a female taxi driver that we were talking to, said exactly the same, that Madrid has got very dangerous, much more dangerous than it used to be. It just seems like there's a lot more problems, robberies. Probably a lot of it to do with the cost of living crisis and COVID. And, a lot of people are living on the edge, aren't they? They don't have money. And there's a lot more immigrants there, just as there are everywhere. And sometimes immigrants don't have a lot of money, do they, or whatever. But she said that all the time she's lived there, it was only last year, she had her phone stolen, and she was really surprised at that, because all the time that she's lived there in Madrid, she'd never had any problems whatsoever. And she said it's all starting to feel a bit different now. Like, and of course that won't have helped Anna going missing. So what I'm trying to say is, she was saying that although it's a nice area because it's an expensive area, maybe it's not as nice an area as Anna thought it was. Maybe it's not such a safe area. Maybe there were nefarious people hanging around. Maybe it is nothing to do with Anna's husband. Maybe it's to do with the sort of people around there at the time who noticed that Anna was there, and Anna was, maybe too trusting and talking about what money she had or didn't have. And you just don't know. We don't know, do we? So, but I presume we, just like the police, you have to take all scenarios into account. It's possible that, she got in with the wrong person. Maybe not even a man, but a woman who maybe said to her boyfriend or her pimp, oh yeah, she's got money, she's told me she's got money. We don't know. It's possible. So they're all possibilities, aren't they? And this Maria, she was so nice. I mean, really was so nice. And I gave her my card. She said she'd get in touch if she heard anything. She was very helpful with information. She told, and then she went, as people do, she was telling me about how she'd had a problem online, with a stalker online, somebody who had she thought was a distant relative of hers from Mexico, and it turned out they were trying to sort of blackmail her into giving them money. They said that they would, release all these things on social media saying they were her. So she started telling me about that. And, these scams, they do happen online, don't they? And, of course, Anna might have been a victim of that as well. And what was the other thing she told me? Oh, yeah, because, of course, because she's from Mexico. Now, Mexico is a very dangerous country to live in. She was telling me about that as well. And that's why she came to Spain. She came to Spain from Mexico because it was a safer country to come and live in. And of course, they speak the same language as her. So she's got the language. And so Spain was an obvious country for her to come to. Just because of the language side of thing. And, now she's settled there, she's got a restaurant, the restaurant's doing well. But that area, she told me, she said, this is not an area where anybody lives. It's an expectation. I couldn't afford to live here, and I've got a successful business. The rest is good having my restaurant here, but she doesn't live there. She lived in the centre where it's cheaper, further up the other end. And that was an interesting insight. So I think because Anna had no holds barred as far as money was concerned, when she was looking for somewhere to stay in the first instance, she's just taken an Airbnb. She wouldn't have had to worry about how much it cost or this, that, or the other. And she's gone to stay there, maybe not knowing what else was going on in that area. Because if you don't know areas, I lived in a bloody red light area in Whalley Range in Manchester. I didn't know it was when I took the bedsit. I didn't know it was a red light area. I was only about 20 or something. I remember thinking, oh my God, what are all these girls getting into these men's cars? I was just so unaware of what was happening. You'd get curb crawled just going to get your bus to work in the morning. So sometimes if you don't know an area, you can get caught out like that. And that may, again, be what did happen to Anna, Anyway, I had a long chat with Maria. It was at least an hour. We were stood talking. She told me so many different things. It was very interesting. Yeah, so basically, she said the area was much more dangerous now than it used to be. But still, she said the same thing. It was impossible to imagine that anyone could have taken Anna without being seen. From the front, anyway, as the road was so busy. And she told me it's always busy. It doesn't matter what time of night, and when she comes out the restaurant at whatever time in the morning, it's still busy. Now, other thing she told me was that those posters that are up on the what's the word? Or those posters that were up on the lampposts, they'd just been put up again recently. So a lot of the posters that were originally put up from the 2nd, it was probably about a week after the 2nd of February, and the posters were put up. A lot of them, obviously, with weather, etc., had gone, Anyway, she told me that about a week ago, suddenly the press all arrived again and put these posters back up so that they could, and took, got filmed in front of the posters. But she said they were sort of manipulating it. They put the posters up and then stood in front and got the news report done in front of the poster that they put up, and they were saying things like, just shows you on the mainstream media, they're terrible, aren't they, at manipulating everything. So they've gone along there, they've put a poster up and saying, oh yeah, we're here, all these posters up about Anna. They put them up themselves to take their reports. God, they are so manipulative. They don't go and take videos of how it is. They go and set it up and then take videos. Anyway, the next person that I spoke to was a cafe owner. So this was it. So we then went round the back of the apartments, because then we got talking, and I was saying, where would she put a car? Because, we knew she had a car. She's had a car because there's been videos of her driving in a car and that. So yeah, it was suddenly, well, where would a car be? And quite often these apartment blocks, they have underground car parks. So we went round the back, we went and had a coffee and sat down and sort of had a chat about it, and that's how this all came up. Oh, I wonder where a car was. Where was a car parked? And as we came out, we saw this guy having a cigarette next to a garage. So there's like a garage thing. And we got talking to him, and he was the owner of the coffee bar on the corner. And he told us that the underground garages, they don't belong to the apartment blocks, but so they were, how can I explain it? They were there available to rent. So anyone could rent them. I could rent them. You could rent them. But obviously, the more likely people that would rent them were people that were staying locally in any of the apartment blocks, not necessarily Anna's block, because there were other blocks as well. And he said to us, you can rent one. He said, but he said, normally there's a sign up saying garages for rent, but the sign's not up. So that normally happens when they're full, when they're all rented out, they take the sign down. So I started talking to him about the case, and he'd had heard of it, and he was going, oh my God, you've got to find out who's done it. It's like I was the police or something. Please find out who's done it, because I worry about my grandchildren. This for a woman to go missing like that's terrible, and whoever did it or whoever took her, they're still roaming free, and that's terrifying to me because I've got grandchildren, granddaughters that I worry about. Please, he's going, please find out who did it. And obviously, everyone we spoke to around that area did know about the case, and they were all, apart from the woman in the bloody hairdressers right next door to Anna's apartment, who wasn't nasty, but she wasn't helpful. And then there was also a photocopying shop right next to that. We went in there, and the girl was very helpful in there, but she'd only worked there 2 weeks. And she said, I only know about the case because of when the press came and put the posters up outside. So should I ask my compañeros, the people who I work with, I said to them, what's this about? And that's how she got to know about it. So then I phoned Maria, the girl from the Mexican restaurant again, and said to her, do you know if Anna rented an apartment, a garage? And she said, I don't know. She said, but she definitely, I think she had a car, so probably she did. Anyway, but we don't know for sure. We couldn't get in these garages. There was a couple of times cars went in or came out. But the trouble is, we were worried about going in because we might not have been able to get out again. Because they're opened with their sensors, and the people that were coming in or the people that were coming out, to be honest, we didn't see anyone going in. We only saw people coming out. They'd come out, and if we'd, went in like when the gate was open, but then they were closing the gate, we didn't know how long we might be in there, and we might not be able to get out. Maybe thinking about we should have just gone for it anyway, I don't know. But so basically there is an underground garage. Whether Anna had her car in there, Anna might have had her car somewhere else. She might not have been able to get a place there, because it's like an underground garage that goes along the whole length of all those flats, not at the shops, etc., not just Anna's block. It wasn't just belonged to Anna's block. So she may have had her car there, or she may have had it somewhere else. I'm sure the police know where she had her car, but I'm not the police, so I can't find those sort of things out. But it was interesting. It just then became a bit more clear. I'm thinking, well, yeah, maybe she didn't go out the front. Maybe she was taken down through the garage, put in her car and taken off. I hope she's alive. There's a little bit of hope in me. I honestly hope. She may have been taken against her will, which obviously is horrible, but she may be alive somewhere. She may still be alive somewhere. but wouldn't, then I think, well, wouldn't they've come up with a ransom by now? Because maybe they have come up with a ransom. Because another thing about these secret, these secrecy decrees that are put on cases is quite often they're put on cases because they feel that if it wasn't all kept secret, it may affect the safety of someone. Let me just read you exactly where it says, because when I read it, I thought, oh, maybe they think she's still alive, and maybe they're worried that if let's see what it says about the safety thing. Let me read it out. Yeah. The declaration of the secret of the actions, that's the most I can translate it to. Its acciones de secreto or secreto de acciones. But anyway, the objective of making a case secret is to avoid a situation that could compromise severely the result of an investigation, which we thought about, in process, and therefore the course of justice. Or in the same way, it is put a secrecy of action is put on a case to avoid a risk to the life, the liberty, or physical integrity of a third person. So sometimes they put these secrecy orders on so that somebody's life is not put in danger. Now, if they thought she'd been abducted, they could well have, I'm just hoping for this really, they could well have put a secrecy order on so that if they thought that Anna maybe was still alive but had been kidnapped and was being held somewhere, they may have put this secrecy order on to avoid the threat to her life if, whoever it was who's kidnapped her suddenly panicked and thought, oh, everything's getting too close to me, I'm going to kill her, It's a possibility. It's happened a million times. It reminded me a bit of, oh God, what was his name? That guy that kidnapped that girl in the UK and put her in a box. One girl was actually found dead, wasn't she? But they did save the life of Michael. Was it Michael Sams or something? So there's always that possibility, that she has been kidnapped, taken somewhere, being held against her will. And her phone taken off her and those messages sent. But she could be still alive, and that's all we can hope. So that could be why they've put that secrecy order. Okay, let's carry on watching the video. So the answer to some questions that people, Caroline, you can't get into the car park without the sensor. You need a sensor, a pass, and you click it, and it's electric gates. And it's not only one car park. There's about 5 different ones along there, but they don't belong to any block. Anyone can rent a parking space there. Anyone. If there's any vacant, but there were no non-vacant because there was no signs up to say that any were vacant, and that's what the guy from the cafeteria said to me. And it was then later when we were sat waiting for the bus, he came past to put some rubbish in the bin or whatever, and he started talking again. Anyway, he's got my card as well. He told me his name, but I can't remember it now. I think it was Pepe or something. Anyway, he said he would contact me if he heard anything, and he was going to talk about it with his clients in the cafe and that. Yeah, so there's various possibilities. The thing is, because we don't know anything, like we don't know what was left in the apartment. Was there a handbag in the apartment? Maybe even a phone was in the apartment. We just don't know. because the police are not releasing that information. We don't know if a car was in the car park or a car had gone. I mean, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that some guy went in there, you know, as a delivery driver with a motorbike or whatever, and then drove her away in her own car. I mean, we just don't know. But you would presume there would be CCTV somewhere around that area. You'd presume there'd be CCTV in the car park, really, wouldn't you? So I don't know. So she could have gone off herself. She could have been abducted from the car park, you know, and something that I hate to think about, but I have seen it on crime videos. You know, people take bodies out of places in suitcases and things, don't they? And you know, that's the most horrible thing to think about. I want to, but she's disappeared from somewhere. But of course, the other option is maybe she didn't disappear from the flat. Maybe she did go out to meet somebody. But she didn't tell her friends. So remember the messaging that she was doing to her friends that night on the Friday. She was messaging her friends right up to 10 o'clock at night, telling them everything she was doing. She'd been and had her hair done. She was meeting a friend to go to Barcelona on Monday. She was a talkative, chatty woman who was telling her friends everything she was doing. But what she did not say to them was she was going out to meet anyone that night. So if she did go out to meet anyone and she ended up being abducted that way, she did not tell her friends about it. So it's a possibility though. But then, anyway, who knows? Maybe there is something shady in their business dealings. You know, we just don't know all those details, do we? We just don't. So what can we do about that? You know, we can't make things up at the end of the day. So we've just got to act on what we know. We cannot make things up completely. So basically, what we do know is there is a garage, there is a way out of going down to those. Maybe her car was down there, maybe she was taken down that way, or maybe she went voluntarily down that way, you know, so whatever. So yeah, couldn't get into the garages, and also as it was Saturday, the concierge wasn't there. But the good news is that Maria from the restaurant, she told me that she would speak. She knows the concierge, and she knows a mutual. You know, she has a mutual friend. You know, she knows one of Anna's friends, and so when she is going to talk to them, and she's going to get in touch with me if there's anything to say. And then there was another thing that I found out while we were there, is there is a Colombian association in Madrid. You know, like almost a Colombian club. You know, it's like an expats club, isn't it? You come to live in Spain, you join different clubs that, you know, where you're going to meet other British people or other Swedish people if you're Swedish, or other Icelandic people if you're Icelandic. I mean, there's all nationalities here in Spain. So, you know, it's possible. I'm going to contact that Colombian association at some point this week as well, and you know, they may know something about Anna. She may have contacted them for information. You know, how did she? You know, how did you? I mean, I know she was going to salsa dancing because there were videos of that. We know that she was looking for a new apartment. But what else did she do? Did she go to the gym? Did she, you know, what other social clubs was she involved with? How did she meet this Mexican friend, the mutual friend of Maria's? You know, yeah. So there's lots of. I'm sure the police, mind you, the police have not, as far as I know, questioned Maria. And I'll tell you what, Maria, she'd be a good person to talk to because she knows quite a lot about everything. Anyway, so let's continue with the video. So this was the poster that the press had put up for a photo shoot. Hi, Lee. Oh, so here you go. These were CCTV. So this is where I'm taking this picture from. I was stood right outside Anna's front door. And on the traffic lights here, there is CCTV. So any cars coming up here would be caught on the CCTV. So even if they came out of the... oh, thank you, Nanny. Even if they came out of the... what's the word? Came out the garage in her car or some other car, they may well have had to go onto the main road. But if they had knowledge of the CCTV cameras, there might have been a way of avoiding them. It feels like, you know, this was planned one way or another, but, you know, it's just interesting. Hi, Sonia. Okay. Oh, so these are the photos of the garages. So I managed to take this picture when somebody was coming out or had just gone out or was coming in, I can't remember. But this basically, you're on the street and then this is the garage. So underneath here, there's lots of cars parked, lots of bays. But so you can see these are the electric gates. When someone comes in to park their car, they've got a sensor, a key thing or whatever, key fob that they press and they open and then they close them behind them. So, you know, you could get in that way, of course, but you wouldn't be sure that you could get out again. Okay, so that's as far as, so this is going to now, it's going to, when we went to the Parque de Retiro. So this, if you ever go to Madrid, you have got to go to this park. It's the most fabulous, massive park. It's just beautiful to walk around. There's all families. Oh, it was just lovely. But do you know what? This is very close to Anna's apartment. It was only 2 stops on the bus from her apartment. And I did think of her when I was going on that. I bet she'll have gone there. There's no doubt she'll have gone there. Everybody goes to the Parque del Retiro. So I just took some video. So, but there's something special for my Scottish viewers on this video. Hey, Riley. Just answering your question, Sonia, I don't know how much your rent was, but that's a very interesting question because it's probably something that I can find out. And Alana, I've done that. I've got in a car years ago that I thought was well, a rental car. That me and my friend, we thought it was our car and it wasn't. It was somebody else's. But it was a beautiful day that day. That was Saturday, wasn't it? It was Saturday the 23rd. It was a beautiful day, and there was it looks quite quiet there, but it was packed, this park. absolutely packed. Families. It was brilliant. It was lovely to see all the families out together, all the generations. You know, every single. Some of them is just like 4 generations in one group. Look, there's a pigeon. A pigeon photobombing my video. So this is the lake in the middle of the Parque Retiro. Look at all these people sitting on the walls. Honestly, makes me go cold. I've got to have this thing about water now. It's like, I don't think of it as a nice thing. It's a horrible thing. Let me just play that. See that pigeon photobombing me?
That's it. Oh, yes, that. So definitely a must-see place in Madrid, I think.
So this is specially for you Scottish chatters, my Scottish chatterati out there. You would not expect, would you, in Madrid in the Parque de Retiro, 2 guys playing bagpipes. David, there's your Spanish ancestors. David and Chumma, there's your Spanish ancestors, or anybody else Scottish on here. The Spanish bagpipes. Let's just watch that again. Just made me laugh. They were really popular. Honestly, it went down really well, the bagpipes. There was a load of young people around them. Oh, I think that's it. I think that's the end of the video. Yeah. Yeah, it's back to the beginning. Okay. Yeah, so that was Madrid. That was Madrid. I think that's it. So I have to say that I did feel I got somewhere, found out some things. You know, I wasn't going there thinking, oh, I'm going to solve this case. I can't do that. Only the police will be able to do that. But I did feel that I found some things out. I understood it all better, what was happening. You know, and understood this about the secrecy better now. I felt more positive knowing that everyone, you know, was putting so much good thoughts out to Anna and that, and hoping, you know, that for a good resolution, and that's always a nice feeling. I felt like I'd given something to her friends, and I presume her friends are in touch with her family and what have you. You just hope for some information for them soon, because the thought, you know, it's horrible, isn't it, that your loved one goes missing. They go missing in a foreign country and you don't understand the way nobody. I'll tell you what, I don't think even Spanish people would understand the legal process in Spain. You know, Spain is different. That used to be like a slogan that they had on, you know, adverts trying to get people to come to Spain on holiday. Spain is different. It is different. There's so many lovely things about Spain, but the bureaucracy and these kind of things, you never understand it in a million years. And everything's so arbitrary in Spain as well. You know, they have these rules, and they tell you, oh, this is the rule, but there's always a way around the rule. It's difficult to explain unless you live here, or I could bore you shitless, like talking about different times in my life in Spain where I've started off thinking how to do things one way, and then it turned out that it was another, and you could do it like that, but it depends if there's, you know, an hour in the month or a Y in the day. You know, just everything's very arbitrary in Spain. It's very strange. You know, but there's lots of things that are lovely about Spain. But trying to follow the legal system, even if you were Spanish, I think it'd probably be absolute murder. So never mind if you're, you know, trying to understand it from a different country that has maybe more straightforward laws and straightforward rules. Trying to understand how things work in Spain is hard. Anyway. Yes, Charlie, Galicia have bagpipes. They have kilts as well. In Basque Country, they have kilts. I love Galicia is a beautiful place. I've been there. It's so green there. But anyway, I think that is, oh, Jane, I think that is exactly what will happen, David, in Anna's case. It's just, well, it happened a bit like that in Samantha Murphy's case even, and that's not even Spain. And, you know, it felt like they weren't getting anywhere. They were virtually saying that they didn't have any information. But, you know, then the next minute it was, oh, we've arrested someone and charged them with murder. That came out of the blue, didn't it? So that can quite often happen. This is what I'm hoping with this case, that suddenly something will come out. And of course, the thing that we're hoping for most is, imagine if they went to some place and found Anna, you know, found her alive, being held somewhere. How fabulous, you know, that would be, because even her friends and family admitted, didn't they? Her brother admitted in that. We watched a video where a brother was talking, and he did sound a bit like he'd given up hope, and he said, oh, it's been 2 months, you know, it's unlikely that we'll find, you know, she'll be found, you know, we have to face up to the reality of things. But there's always that little chance, isn't there? That little chance. And if she has been being held somewhere for all this time, it won't have been very nice, I'm sure. But if she's alive and she can be saved, that would be fabulous. Oh, the Retiro Park, Jane. If you live there, oh, it's such a fantastic place. Fantastic place. Oh, thank you for everybody who's saying nice things. Oh, Heather, have you not been to Madrid? Because Heather's a right little traveler. You would love Madrid, Heather, honestly. That's just a little taster of Madrid. The only thing, as I say, that I found upsetting is the homelessness, but that's a big city for you. I expect it's the same in London, Paris, Melbourne, as I've been told to pronounce it. I've probably done it wrong again, but never mind. Anyway, so I feel good now that I've got the video done. I wanted to do, I'm glad I waited and tried to put it together in a better way because, trying to just show a little bit here and a little bit there, it's much better to wait until I've got all the information together. I'm glad I gave you, thank you, Karen, I'm glad I gave you a closer insight. Let me just show Anna again. This is who it's about, Ana Knezevich. Now, she's not the only person who's missing. She's not the only woman who's missing, of course. Women and men go missing left, right, and centre, don't they, all over the world every day. But obviously, the reason my attention was caught with this case is because she went missing in Spain. And then seeing a friend being interviewed and the language, but that's how really I got invested in it, was because this is a woman that's just disappeared without trace. It was weird about the bloody paint spray. And also because I felt sorry for a friend who was sort of trying to cope with everything, trying to find out information and increase awareness, and she doesn't know Spanish, so that's how I became invested in it. Two and a half hours, yeah, Melbourne. Yeah, Heather, on your bucket list. Okay, so where are we? We're Monday. Is it only Monday? Oh gosh. So Monday, I'll be up and again, bright and bushy-tailed. I'm just going to check. I'm sure if there was any news about Samantha Murphy, somebody would have let me know. I've got a lot of cases to catch up on. Oh, what? What? Yeah, no new news from the video that I did this morning so far. Of course, it's just coming into daytime now in Australia, so there may be some news coming. And then, of course, I need to talk about Little Cello. That search has been scaled back now. Looks like even Super Sonar couldn't find poor Little Cello. And then, of course, I think we've given up on the confirmation of the sonar images from Mr. Folding. What else were we looking at? Of course, poor Riley's body's been found, Riley Strain. So, yeah, I'm going to find some other cases and start talking about that. The one that I started with tonight, that Robin was asking for some, to talk about. I will be talking about that. I'm starting to waffle a bit now, but yeah, I will. Oh, and of course, Madeleine Soto. Still no murder charges. Still, the mother has not been. I personally do not think that the mother in the Madeleine Soto case, I think she's just stupid, to be honest. I don't think she's involved in it. I think she's just she may have even been drugged by him, That's something else that's occurred to me. you know, maybe because she was on some sort of, you know, tablets and things, maybe he was bloody, you know, sedating her even more so she didn't wake up when things were going on. And, you know, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Anyway. Okay, I'm off. I'm going to Bobies. I'm going to bed. I'm going up the fairy dances and I'm going to bed. But let's hope some good news about Anna. Some news, something. You know, women should not just disappear. Not only women, men, children. You know, everybody should be safe, at least in their own home, if nowhere else. Okay, night. Thank you so much. Thank you, Robin, for the 5 memberships. I don't know who the other members were. I'll have a look in a minute. And remember to live and love wisely, carefully. Go a visit to Madrid on your bucket list, all of you. And I'll see you tomorrow. I will definitely be back at some point tomorrow. So, hasta luego. And until I see you again, may your God go with you. Adios.